Last day of PAX South with the legendary Mr. Black0ut. And where are we at right about now? I think we're outside of Novid.
Yeah, we just headed west outside, yeah. Headed west.
Outstanding. I think our plan, correct me if I'm wrong, was what, Severo?
Yes, Zevergrad.
Okay.
Or Memorial Town.
That memorial. It's been a long event. I don't know about you. It's been long for me. I've talked extensively about things, so we're probably going to hit topics that we've touched on a couple days before. But for those that haven't been here for the first day or the second day, and the additional live stream with Jamjar, hopefully we can touch on some topics that you guys all want to hear about. Let me put my. So, before we get into taking questions from the chat, I'd like to give the opportunity to see if Mr. Black0ut had any specific questions about anything coming up.
Oh my god.
Yeah, put you on the spot here.
Yeah, right? Specific questions.
Is there anything you've been wondering about?
Oh, that's a really good. I've got like 1,000 things I'm wondering about, but I don't know. Now that I'm on the spot, I don't know, Brian. Damn it.
Okay, you'll come up with it. You'll come up with it as we get further
Plus,
in.
I'm relearning how to play DayZ right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was explaining to you that, and everyone else, everyone who plays DayZ on a regular basis, you have your own setup. You got your own mouse, your own keyboard, and we come to these events and we get onto this game, and it's like
Definitely
getting
Most
on a bike again.
You got to figure out, how the keyboard, everything down to the minutia of how the keyboard and mouse are actually located on the desk.
Yes.
is different.
Yeah.
The monitor setup for me really
Oh.
doesn't, because I usually. Are we gonna be up here at all? Yeah. I was like, yeah, I usually play like that, and then I looked up and it was black. There we go. But yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but I was noticing on the televisions up here that the game just looked gorgeous on these large.
Oh my
screens.
god, yesterday watching it from there looked absolutely amazing.
I play on one roughly about that size. There we go. Roughly about that size at home, and it like when I was playing with you for the Chronicles series, just playing on this big old TV right in front of me. It just really kind of sucks you in. It looks just fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know if I can. I love watching it on a massive TV like that, but I don't know if I could play it on a massive TV, because then you're like looking for people like this.
Yeah. Just give it time. Someone will figure out how to get Oculus Rift functioning properly if the new render goes in, and
Yeah, Brian,
it will really be
really gonna get
looking like
Oculus
that.
Rift.
Oh, I'm all for increasing the immersion through VR hardware.
That would be amazing.
Fantastic. I tried. This is a little off topic, but I tried Riftcraft. I think it is.
Okay.
Riftcraft. Yeah, I think that's the name of it. It's a mod for Minecraft that works with the Oculus Rift. And I had my DK2, and I was playing this mod that was Minecraft and Oculus, and it was one of the most mind-blowing Minecraft experiences I've ever had. So I can't wait to see if we can pull that off for DayZ. I mean, it'd be great, I think.
Okay, here's a question for you. How excited are you for the new render?
How excited am I?
You. How excited are you?
I'd honestly
public
say
to see the new render.
I'd honestly say I'm far more excited about the new player controller and animation system, allowing the new user actions to come in, because I genuinely feel that is a game-changing update. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to no longer hearing the renderer question mark comments I get every hour, every minute, every second, every day.
I bet.
Yeah. It'll be nice to get that in people's hands. So that can stop being a constant question. Yeah. But user actions, man. User actions are where it's at. It's all about that move from a very rigid, completion of the animation-based system, like the old ARMA action menu and all that, to a more fluid, usage-based, more modern setup for everything from, like we've shown, drinking water to reloading a weapon to fixing a vehicle. Like any action you perform in game goes from a initiate the animation typical setup to actually just I'm gonna start doing this, and when I've hit the amount of time required for this to do its deal, I can release and it's succeeded. I can stop midway. If I'm like I guess a good example would be, and we have the cancel action kind of temporary fix in there, but a good example would be, you play DayZ mod or you play DayZ before Peter added in cancel action. You start bandaging, and an infected or a player runs up on you, and you're stuck in that bandage animation, and you're just like, well, shit, I'm dead.
Good night.
Yeah, yeah. And just being able to, I'm going to start bandaging, I see someone, I release the key, and I can move immediately.
Right.
And that's outstanding. And it should even allow us to do things, I realize this sounds a bit ridiculous, but I'm excited about the fact that we're going to be able to eat and walk at the same time.
I'm actually really excited for that. As simple as it may seem.
Yeah. It's the little stuff like that.
It's the details.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start taking some questions from the chat here. Gentleman Nico here had a question of, will we have the possibility to make camo with environment items for vehicles and tents? And I'm assuming what he means is things like, I don't know, for example, taking some leaves and sticks and making like an improvised, I guess, ghillie for your tent, like your civilian tent. Yeah, we've definitely been interested in doing that. I know that Peter has both the design teams and the artists working on some prototypes for adding on those that improvised camouflage. So you'll definitely see something along those lines come. Just the evil Wayland Yutani Corporation had the question about trees and new trees and such. I don't want to go too far into that right now because the folks that are working on it, they're actively working on it. I don't want to overpromise for them. But yes, we have looked at how forests look in, I guess, the geographical inspiration for Chernarus, which is areas of the Czech Republic and Poland and Slovakia and such, like that Central and Eastern European area. And one of the big things, especially where we're based in and around Prague, is there you go.
That's like gold right there.
Is the edges of a lot of the forest have this very thick and kind of lower tree that it obfuscates, that hides what's inside the forest a lot of the times. I know they've been looking at ways to make the boundaries of the forest a little more dense, so that if you're hiding a player camp, for example, in the woods, people shouldn't be able to just see it from afar. The trees themselves, the border trees, the thick, dense forest around the edge of the forest, should hide some of that, make it a little bit easier to hide your camp out in the woods. There's a gentleman down here asked about expanding Chernarus. Now, as far as like increasing the actual landmass area, no, there's no plans for that. That's actually a fairly major overhaul. But I did speak yesterday about how both myself and Peter, our lead designer, were interested in seeing how we can put Utez Island back into DayZ and make it fit from a gameplay and game design perspective. Gentleman asked something about riverbeds. I didn't catch it. Go ahead and toss that. Oh, there you go. I got you right here. You can scroll up. This is fantastic. Reworked DayZ Eternal Plus show very sophisticated riverbeds all around. Can you give us an explanation as to?
Yes.
As nice. As to why? Well, simply put, it's part and parcel with the updating of Chernarus, the move from Chernarus to Chernarus Plus. The environment artists we have working on Chernarus not only have the benefit of all the expertise and experience from the people that, would you please find pants, people and history of working on the original Chernarus, that they're able to take it to that next step, and it's organic. The idea is to give penalty for killing or even hitting people. No, unfortunately, Mambazambo. Unfortunately, Mambazambo, at least, I guess, unfortunately for your request, I personally believe that putting any game mechanics in to try and penalize or de-incentivize that choice I think it's a direction that's not right for DayZ. I think we have to give people
Happy?
that open world. Yes, I am happy. He's wearing pants. Now our mothers can watch the stream.
Hi, Mom.
But yeah, there are games that I personally love that are open world, non-consensual PvP titles that have tried that. You know, I constantly reference Ultima Online, and there was a lot of back and forth from the player community when they tried to start de-incentivizing or penalizing those who relentlessly would kill other players, the PKs of the day. And you know, they went from everything from, you know, the Dreadlords and the reputation system and reds and blues and bounties. And in the end, you know, it was just a lot of extra unnecessary work that did nothing but penalize the players that chose that path, and that's not something we want to do. Apparently, my mother already saw you without your pants on.
Straight calling us out.
Yep. No, the new helicopter, the Little Bird, is not more than likely going to end up in the next update at 0.60, which we're hoping to see at the end of next month. There's some more work that needs to be done on the network side of the simulation, so we'll keep you apprised of what's going on there. I'm sorry, Texas. We don't have any plans for an iPod that would allow you to listen to Britney Spears while running across Chernarus. So a gentleman asked, what about putting the mouse inside Chernarus? Besides the fact that really wouldn't work because there's not enough space. The additional problem is that we don't own the mouse. The mouse is a user-created map. It's a community-created thing. We can't just take people's stuff and throw it into our property. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. Yes, I've said many times that development will continue at a minimum of 5 years after 1.0. It's been confirmed many times. Excuse me. Yeah, there is an auto-run feature.
Oh, now we're doing it right.
I don't have any coins on me, but you know, you just take like a US dime.
Get a toothpick.
Or a toothpick, yeah.
Get a toothpick
yeah.
and
match, maybe a wooden match.
Just slot it right down the side of the key.
Right in there, and you're fine. You're fine.
That's your auto button.
Bear traps and mines be persistent so we can protect our camps. Yes, that is definitely the intent, is to tie in bear traps, landmines, and such into the persistence, that those continue past server restarts, so that you can protect your camp, your home, your base from people like me and Jam and Anthony, but not Black0ut.
I'm a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
I'd never steal from anyone's camp. Pinky promise?
That's a nice question there. Gentleman asked, with the new render, will lighting at nighttime change? And specifically, will light still pass through walls? That remains to be seen, at least for the first iteration. It's definitely like my holy grail for getting resolved with the new render technology is getting rid of the flashlight beams going through solid surfaces.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy. It's driven me crazy since day one. I would love to get rid of that. No, Eugen's tweet was not tools for the community. That was just a picture of some internal tools that the developers work with. M16s and 203 grenade launchers. I would really like to see, personally, underslung grenade launchers like the M203, the GP25, I think it is. I think that's the AK variant. Their underslung grenade launcher. Most definitely would absolutely love to see that, yes. No, I'm not going to promise when specific weapons are going to be coming just yet. Because I like to leave those things as little surprises, because they don't really have lasting changes on gameplay in and of itself, I mean, a nice little icing on the cake. So we'll talk about when those are coming a little bit closer to the builds, but they are coming. Yes. Modding support. The Ardent one asked when modding support was coming. Modding support. We're aiming for right around our beta phase is when we like to start modding support. We're already working on making sure we have the basic documentation in. We're doing an audit on our existing tools, doing lots of tests as far as making sure A, B, and C work for modding within DayZ, as well as making sure that our new UI, the server browser for our new UI, properly supports modding and like an own area for servers running mods. Martin, simple question. Just continue to iterate. That is software development. I would be shocked to see a title of our scope in dealing with its engine being developed that was solid network gameplay without any issues from now on into 1.0. Just have to continue to file bugs when you come across them and give good repro steps, and we'll continue to iterate. Crafting system, rail system stuff. There's no timeline on. The gentleman asked when crafting in regards to customizing weapons. There's no hard timeline right now because a lot of that again is waiting for the new UI to be scanned and put in so that we can start using those new UI elements. It makes no sense to have the game designers, script the functionality for all that stuff and then try and plug it into the legacy UI. It's work lost. So you'll see a lot of that stuff start to trickle in as we move over to the new UI being the only UI. The game designers will start to be able to properly use its features and functionality. Bumba asked if brake fluid was planned to be implemented on vehicles. I know Peter and I have gone back and forth on exactly how far we would like to take operational fluids and parts. And I don't think we landed on brake fluid being required. I could be wrong. We have a specific set, a hard list of fluids and parts that we wanted. And we looked at from an implication of what is transferable across different types of vehicles and commonality of that specific fluid. I know that was on the list. I'm just not 100% sure if that was on the final list. It might have gotten cut. The new UI is going well, and we are aiming for that to join. Internally, we're aiming. Anything could happen. To join the new renderer in our next update, which we're aiming for the end of February. Flinker fluid. Not quite sure what you meant, Rob. Could you go ahead and rephrase that question? It doesn't. I'm confused by what you mean. Dralix, as I said just moments ago, we're aiming to have the first iteration of the new renderer in our next update, which we'd like to see at the end of next month. Mike, you asked. Mike there asked about the Desert Eagle, whether or not it was a joke gun, or if it was actually going to be added into the game. It's actually, it's a gun. It's got animations. It's technically in there. What we decide to do with it remains to be seen.
We're almost there.
We're almost there? All right, I'll keep it going until we get there. Yeah, Grinselfish, I think that was his name. He asked a good question about players breaking into camps via server hopping, which is a good question. And Peter and I have both thought about that a lot and talked about how we'd like to approach it. I think from a systems perspective, we should be able to restrict or at least push players logging in out of a bubble that has a certain amount of structures, so to speak. So let's say if the wall, we have several types of walls. We have the improvised wall, we have the HESCO barriers. If there's a proper radius set up, let's say, then that should be a good indicator that that area, that you cannot log back in within a certain distance of that area, so the system should push you out.
Right.
That wouldn't be that hard to do, and that's definitely something we're aware of and keeping our eye on when it comes to expanding the whole base building mechanic for players. The wardrobes are functional. right now. Walk up to that wardrobe, hit tab. Bam. There you go. They are functional. If you're asking, like, persist, yeah, they will persist, and we'd like to see if we can get some items spawning there as well. Cusack asked if I could assure or reassure that there will be a substantial change in how players value their current life and are encouraged to not Bambi rush cities with suicidal behavior. Unfortunately, more often than not, you can spend extensive amount of time working on game design that has this like very linear path, right? You start here, they go here, and then want them to end here. And more often than not, you've got this great path, and the players, they actually get right up to about here, and then they just go off on their own direction. I mean, it's historically that's how this works. They will do what they want to do, and unless we put systems in to hard block that kind of behavior, which again would take away from what DayZ is, I can't promise that. I can say we can do our best to incentivize the value of the character itself over the gear, and we're going to continue doing that. But people are still going to, like when you create a fresh character, there's no soft skills, there's no gear, there's nothing to prevent that person from just going, blah, you know. I mean, you see it in geez, I saw it in Ultima Online, I saw it in EverQuest, I saw it in World of Warcraft. Like when a server was down, for example, in World of Warcraft, I played Horde at the time, and you would see just a whole bunch of, like a bunch of servers went down in one region. You'd just see a whole bunch of those people hop over on your server, and you'd see like these littered corpses of Alliance trying to run into Orgrimmar. Like these Alliance, new characters, newbie characters. Just, fuck it, let's just try and siege like 60 dwarves, naked dwarves running into Orgrimmar. Like, people do that kind of stuff. There's nothing to stop them, and I don't think we can put anything in there to stop them. Fortunately, Bambis are very soft, and as long as you have a gun, it turns out that, much like the movie, you can end it rather quickly.
That reference.
We don't have any, Rob. We don't have any plans. I see your question. Rob is asking if there are any plans for like a hand cart, a hand lever rail car. No, we don't have any plans for that. But I'm pretty confident that there's going to be some modder out there to do that.
No doubt.
Yeah. Just keep in mind, there's a lot of stuff on the tracks around the major cities, so it's not a continuous loop. Question: are pets going to make it in the game? I can't give you a firm answer on that, and I know people hate it when I can't give a firm answer. They don't. If someone asks the question, I try to answer the question. If I can't answer it, I can't answer it. But I
can only do so much.
You know? I can't give a firm answer on pets. I know we definitely like to do it, and I think we have confidence in our tech to be able to do it, as the Bratislava guys have worked on wildlife and their life cycles. So we'll see. You know, it might get pushed to past 1.0, but I think we could do it. Good question here from Charlie. If I've used the M4 on patch 0.59, will I be getting banned? You've already been banned. All your friends. No, I'm sorry.
Rip Charlie.
No, Charlie. Picking it up, it's not going to cause any problems. Keep in mind that does not that weapon doesn't save when you log off; it disappears. So I wouldn't grab it. So gentleman here, Fallout 4 LLO, very creative.
Very.
Fallout asked if running speed of the character is going to slow down. Yes, it will, but how far it slows down remains to be seen. It might not end up needing to get slowed down much at all. As we move on to the new animation system and player controller, then Peter and his design team get to start working on weight and player stamina, having an actual effect. And we'll see, with those added on, how that actually balances out in regards to how players move back and forth and run, and so on and so forth. Rob, I've just answered your question about the hand lever rail car. Oh, hey, downright Dick's in there.
Yeah, D.
Will bodily harm be apparent? Can you scroll back up? Scroll back up. All right. Will bodily harm be apparent on characters? Missing limbs, broken bones, scars, or cuts/bleeding?
That's
Go
a
ahead and
good
scroll down.
question.
That is a good question from Downright Dick. Outstanding streamer. Check him out if you're in chat. Give him a follow. He makes some great content. And I think those guys are ready for some Dreadnought over there. Yeah. So to answer your question, as far as missing limbs go, I don't think we have any plans within the realm of 1.0 to actually sever limbs. I can only imagine where that would go. That would be so horrible. Yeah.
You can take it as far as you want to take it.
Yeah. But as far as actual damage to the character being more apparent, so let's say that you've broken an arm or you've broken a leg, and that should be more visible to people that can see you, rather than just, I think I heard his legs break. They see you moving, you're limping.
Right.
Like we have in our trailer. We have a preview of one of those animations. We're actually working on making sure that can happen. That's supported properly within the new animation system and on the new player. So yes, we also, in addition to that, are working, no promises, we're prototyping ways in which we can have the actual things like the splint and such, like improvised medical devices that are sustaining an injured player, actually be visible on the player's character. It might work, it might not work, we'll see, but that's definitely something we're looking at. Alright. No, I have not apologized for the sawed-off Mosin yesterday because I didn't do it.
And he didn't apologize to me.
Jam?
Oh, he said worth. Yeah, no remorse right there.
Gentleman asked if I was happy with the progress of DayZ development. What went wrong and what went good? That is a hell of a question.
It sounds like a respectful question.
Well, it is. It's very, very long when you think about the answer. I don't think that I could adequately answer that while the development is still going on. I'm very interested in doing a post-mortem a year or two after development is concluded. More than likely at GDC. So if you happen to be somebody that attends GDC or has access to the GDC vault and that post-mortem ends up getting approved, yeah, probably a much longer conversation, as any proper post-mortem should be. Heisenberg wants to know why the player speed is so fast it makes gunplay feel arcadey. That is entirely correct. And the player speed is so fast because, well, for lack of a better answer, because we recognize that it is a little too fast, and we've worked on player stamina, weight, and the actual new player controller, which will allow us to, or an animation system, excuse me, which will allow us to slow it down if we need to. So it's fast right now because you haven't got your hands on the changes yet. All right, so any questions about when GPU rendering is going to be released, when the new render is going to come? Keep in mind, I've answered that question extensively many, many times over the last 3 days. I'll do it one more time. One more time.
I bet he doesn't. I bet he does it again.
Probably. We're aiming for the new renderer to hit the consumer's hands. The first iteration of the new renderer, be very, very clear on that. It's going to need to be iterated on. But the first iteration of the render, we're hoping to be in this next, this next update to the game. That we are aiming for the end of next month. Things can happen. We'll keep you apprised on the status of that in the status reports at devhub.dayz.com. No, 0.60 is not beta. No, sir. Are there plans to change VoIP? Luke, again, that question I actually answered maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes ago.
Yeah.
About the trees in this stream. So I'm going to try not to keep answering the same question.
You can watch the VOD back, guys.
Yes. We'll be able to. What is the? Okay, that's not a bad question, Mike. Gentleman in chat asked what the first mod I'd like to see somebody make. I'm really excited for what I've seen Sumrak do with Namalsk. So obviously, I want to see that really soon. I want to play it. I see him working on it at his desk every now and then. I really want to play it. But if you take Namalsk out of the equation, The first mod I'd like to see somebody put together. Well, personally, I would love to get access to or work with Martin Bauer to bring DayZ Taviana, which was my mod
Taviana.
in the DayZ mod days. Take his islands and some of the stuff that we did with DayZ Taviana and bring that to DayZ. But I don't know how feasible that is. I don't know if I have the time to do it. I don't know if the rest of the DayZ Taviana team has the time to do it. And I don't know if Martin, the original author of the island, is interested in undertaking the massive work that would be updating Taviana to work with DayZ. So Tabizzle, Marizzle, So Nizzle asked about plans for doing drive-bys. And I'm going to turn that into a question in general about shooting from vehicles.
Right.
And shooting from vehicles is something that Peter and I know I say this a lot, but Peter and I are pretty much on the same page, as we should be. We both are really passionate about people being able to shoot from vehicles, and we want to make sure that when we do it, I don't want to say right, because there's many ways to do it, but we want to make sure that what we bring forward with shooting from vehicles when we put it out there is something that is an evolution of what has been done before at Bohemia. Take it a step further. Is definitely what we'd like to do. Oh, hey, Patriot's in there, and he's mocking my youngster speech.
Got a locked door.
Oh. Yeah. Do you have ammo?
Yeah.
All right. Let's check out what's going on here.
Whoa! What are you shooting at?
It's the police station.
Hello, my friend. There's a guy in here.
There's a guy in there?
Sorry, the door was locked. I am Russian and don't have keys.
Not a problem.
I shall put
One moment on the questions, guys.
You have gun?
I do, yes.
Okay, how do we do this?
I'm just gonna go out the front door, and you're welcome to search.
Thank you very much, my friend. He's a nice dude. Seems like a nice guy.
Is this the Severo police station?
He said I'm going out the front door, you come in the back door, and we'll go our separate ways.
Nice.
That's what he just said to me.
Nice.
Yeah, I shut the door and he's all, whoa, 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 whoa.
All right, so Black0ut isn't dead, so let's go ahead and take some more questions. All right. Procedural building, colors, and gun. Off the cuff, right now, I don't think there's any plans for procedurally coloring. It would be interesting to revisit that once we get through our I guess, pillar features. Make sure we have all our boxes checked to move past beta and release some early access. There's a lot of things that we can do past there, so that's definitely a possibility for the future. Will the cannibal disease, gentleman in chat asked, the cannibal disease, the brain prion disease we have from consuming flesh from human corpses, I think he asked if it will be more subtly
like
growing instead of just suddenly you're
a cannibal?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. He says he's asking for a friend, right? He's asking for a friend. Obviously, not him. That kind of person wouldn't be in here watching when Mr. Black0ut's playing,
I hope
Not at all. I think right now, if it hits you all of a sudden and it doesn't gradually impact you, then that would be a bug. It is supposed to slowly grow, and it's also supposed to, its severity is supposed to be exponential with the amount of flesh from human corpses that you consume. So yeah, if it's 0 to 60 right now, it shouldn't be. Question. Tirish here is a little out of date, but we'll go ahead and try and fill him up. He says, a new game engine was supposed to have been developed years ago, but it hasn't. Why? DayZ's engine, Enfusion, is being developed in tandem with DayZ. Parts of Enfusion are running in DayZ, and parts are being merged in and replacing the legacy technology as it's developed. So, it has, it will be, and it is.
Sure.
And if you have any questions about that, DayZ.com/FAQ. Frequently asked questions. Blue Waffle Attack Force Wee Devil from the Blue Waffle Attack Force. By the way, do you know what a Blue Waffle is?
No?
Don't look it up. It's not pleasant.
I'm guessing it's not from IHOP.
I was at PAX Australia, and they felt the need to inform me. The great Australian community there. They're fantastic guys, but Blue Waffle, it's not work safe.
It's not IHOP.
It's not. They were asking about a blue smoke grenade. Sure, I don't see why not. Yeah, I'll talk to the art and design teams about it when I get back. It seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Blue and yellows, blacks, greens, reds.
Whole rainbow, Bo.
Yeah, why not? It's not much work. Oh, AMG's in there. Hey, AMG. Gentleman in chat asked if there's any chance of 0.60, the next update to the consumer branch, having the new player controller. No, it's probably going to be the update after that, or maybe the update after that. I'm not 100% confident. It's definitely going to be after the next update. We're focused on the new rendering module, and we're focused on the new UI for that as the primary big heavy stuff there. And I'm just going to assume that's for Black0ut. Black0ut, Wee Devil from BWF loves you. Oh, here's a good question. Clammy asked, will there be chances for infected, or as some people like to call them, zombies? People are wearing me down on this, I want you to know. I'm just about ready to start calling them zombies and say screw it.
Do it.
Will there be an opportunity for infected corpses to have random loot on them, like they did in DayZ mod? Yes, it's definitely something that we want to happen. Most definitely, the whole idea of killing infected and rummaging through their bodies to find, maybe you'll find some bullets, maybe you'll find some food, some rags, who knows? My favorite way to get night vision goggles in DayZ mod was to kill the pilots of the helicopter crashes.
Right.
Yep. I cannot. Jazzbone was asking if there was a hard date on the experimental with the first iteration of the renderer. I can't give you a hard date. I can tell you that we are aiming to have it in the consumer's hands. Whether that be experimental or stable remains to be seen. But we're aiming to have something in the consumer's hands by the end of next month. We will see where that goes. This is fairly important change to DayZ. I ain't messing around with it. Fonzie wants to know if there will ever be a Hicks model in DayZ. Fonz, maybe. I have to make sure that if there's going to be a Hicks model, that it's after the Dean model is an infected, so that nobody can... Listen.
I already know where this is going.
There was erotic fan fiction about Dean and I on the subreddit of DayZ. Twice. I got rid of that. I don't want to see it, so we'll get the Dean character out when moved over to the infected, and then we'll see about a Hicks character. But my mom looks at this stuff, All right. Someone asked, OneStep asked about, can we expect a weapon resting system like Arma 3 in the future? I don't know if specifically we'd be looking at what Arma 3 did, but the team is definitely interested in proper usage of the bipod, hand grips, weapon support systems to reduce recoil and stabilize weapons. Where we go with that remains to be seen, but yes, rest assured that is something that we're thinking about. Okay, yeah, that's not a bad question. It's not necessarily about what's coming up to DayZ, but it is a good question about development. PJ asked if there was anything I tried to put in-game, but just had to give up on. And I guess, yeah, technically. I pushed pretty hard for, I think it was almost a year. Maybe it was a little over half a year, for the player progression to be from east to west rather than south to north. And no matter how many times I tried to change that up or move the spawns just to the east coast or maybe put some spawns inland, it doesn't matter. It really does not matter if you put better loot and more spots to get this better loot in these new spawn areas like Chernaya Polana and Svetlo or the updated Berezino. It doesn't matter if those cities have more opportunity to get loot than Cherno and Electro.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, in like the DNA of people that know about DayZ, it doesn't matter if there's no loot in Cherno and Electro at all. They want to be there.
It's a GPS
They wanna be
system
there.
or something in their bodies.
Something.
Don't know
So
why.
yeah, we gave in, and I got rid of the whole spawning on the east, moving to the west, or spawning inland idea, and went to a little more traditional DayZ mod style spawns. Gentleman in chat, this is kind of a softball question, wants to know, will DayZ be coming to Xbox One? Yes, we announced at last year's E3 that we will participate in the game preview program. When we enter the game preview program, it has not been announced, but we will be on the Xbox One. And prior to that, I think at Gamescom, was it 2014?
Yes.
Yeah, Gamescom 2014. We did also announce that there will be DayZ on the PlayStation 4. Garrett continues to ask, will I make official servers only first person? Garrett, why you gotta put me on the spot? I was really hoping I could just sneak that one in, and nobody would notice.
This dude's ahead of me right now.
Oh, is it the guy?
He's close because
But that's the guy from the station.
I'm guessing it's the same guy. I just went into the feeder right there,
Yeah.
and there was 0 loot.
I'm just gonna put this bad juju on you, V.
What bad juju?
Well, the gentleman at Astro said that they would give away hardware if you killed someone. This is a big moral dilemma for him because he is like the nicest guy in Trinaris. I've given him shit when he's not nice, and yet here I am being the devil on his shoulder.
Well, how long do I go?
Yeah.
Alright, 20 minutes. I usually need a good reason, but a giveaway's a pretty good reason.
We'll make sure that we give him a proper burial.
I need a Mosin.
Need a Mosin?
Yes, I need a Mosin. Give me a Mosin and it'll happen.
The DayZ's one gentleman in chat, What7, asked how much the final cost of DayZ will be. I've since forgotten that. But DayZ.com/FAQ actually has the final release date planned, as well as the final cost. I think it's going to go up maybe a couple extra bucks, but I don't think we're gonna be much more expensive. Either way, it is documented on DayZ.com if you're curious about that. Hey, Garrett keeps asking the question. See, he keeps asking the question. I told him not to ask the question. He keeps asking the question. I would like to try and make the officials first person only. I'd like to try that. We'll see if I get away with it.
I think this guy's somewhere ahead of me. I got a Sixth Sense thing going on right now.
And the chat's moving a little too fast. Oh, there you go. You're a genius. There we go. All right. Now that you're looking more into aviation, is the plan to see Oh, for fixed-wing aircraft. Jen was asking, since we're looking at aerial transport, what our plans are for fixed-wing aircraft. Personally, I wanted the good old, I think it was the AN-2, was that the Russian biplane made out of like plywood and stuff that could go really slow and low?
It's out of my league. I have no idea.
I believe it was the Antonov AN-2, I think it was. I personally, I really wanted that. But Peter wanted, instead of going with something that had been done in Chernars before, he wanted to do something a little more civilian-ish. I'm not going to pop the cherry on what exactly that is, but Peter has a rather interesting civilian airplane that matches the whole Eastern Central European motif. My mom is now sending me... My mother is text messaging me questions from chat. Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and answer this question because my mom apparently felt the need to text message me about it. Hi, Mom. Some guy, as Mom says, I don't know who it was, she just said some guy. Some guy wants to know if we're going to be able to hunt birds in DayZ, in Chernars. We do have actual... ambient life work that's been done recently, and that will include birds. So I suppose if you're a good enough shot, you should be able to take down a couple of those birds, yes, and get feathers and
Let's get the pump action.
yeah, the MP133.
Get that pump
I
action
love
going.
the MP133. Were you there? I know I was with Jam and KD. Were you there? That yeah.
It was the tent city at Northwest Airfield, wasn't it?
No. We were just coming out of Svetlo, headed towards Novid, and I know Jam had just gone AFK in the damn road, and this is a little after V3Ss were put in, and there's a V3S coming from Novid towards Svetlo, and this is after all you guys had told me the MP133 was rubbish, couldn't kill anybody, and this truck comes barreling towards us, and I'm like, Jam, come back, and he's not coming back.
Oh, okay, now I remember.
Yeah, and I raised the MP133,
Yep.
and I put 2 rounds through the windshield.
Yep.
And the beautiful thing about it is the player dies, right? And the V3S starts just slowly listing because there's no control anymore, but there's momentum on the vehicle. So it just kind of boom and stops
Comes to a
right
dead
in front of
stop.
Jam.
Yep.
And we-
As he's AFK.
We run up there, open the door, and a naked Dean Hall just kind of slumps out of the truck. And didn't I scream? I screamed at this naked Dean Hall, "You're not the boss of me anymore, Dean."
Yeah.
That's a
Back in
good
the day.
time. That's a good time. All right. Oh, hey, Leggy. Leggy, always on tour. Fantastic streamer. If you guys are in chat, give him a follow. Check out his channel. He asked if there were going to be names coming up of the people who killed you. Not with DayZ. No, Leggy. I firmly believe that the only way you should know who someone is either by recognizing them, recognizing their voice, or being told their name, I suppose.
Mhm.
That's about it. It does not make sense within that whole, I guess, survival simulation
Yeah.
that you would get that kind of data. Which is why it's the primary reason why we're so firm on how admin logs are used to enforce server policies, not to be used as a kill board or a leaderboard of who killed who. I mean, I'm sure as we release the server binaries and people run their own Hive packages that they'll start to do that stuff, and they'll be able to do that stuff. But for
Have you been driving in Shanaris again?
Holy shit!
That was you. Wasn't it?
That wasn't me.
Are you sure?
I'm sure I am an exemplary driver, and you know it.
Should we see if he had anything in it?
Yeah. Jesus.
Had a few things in it. Oh well. Don't think we're. Shall I try and get it out? What do you think?
You can give it a shot. What's the worst thing that can happen?
I mean, I'm pretty sure he gave it up for a reason.
Yeah.
But hey, where there's a will, there's a way.
Did it turn over?
Nope.
Out of fuel? Out of fuel. All right. How many players on the server we're playing on right now? I think I saw about 20 when we came in. Could be a little bit more. Will DayZ, gentlemen in chat, Daggeron asks, will DayZ have a bigger map than how it is right now, like Arma? I'm not sure what he means. So I'm just going to answer a general.
Maybe
question
he
with
thinks like, is he referring to like the size of like Altus or?
Altus is pretty large.
Yeah, maybe that's what he's referring to.
There's no plans right now internally for a new terrain for DayZ. We're still working on finishing Chernarus Plus. That said, I know modding's going to bring a lot of new terrains in, like we were talking about in Amals before. And, as we said, DayZ's development will continue at least 5 years past the 1.0 date. So it's definitely possible, or in the cards, so to speak, for us to see, if not new terrain, then maybe some updated terrain moved over from Arma or previous titles. You know, we've got a nice library of fantastic terrain going all the way back to the original Arma, moving on into Arma 3. So yeah, there's a lot of possibility there. Dark Tire wants to know if he'll ever be able to wear leggings in DayZ. We're currently working just for Dark Tire on a DLC package with the Jeggings company. So I think we'll be able to get you halfway there. And again, Dark Tire, outstanding content creator. Give him a check on Twitch. But I was kidding. We're not working with Jeggings. We're not working with Jeggings. The lawyers are gonna kill me. Zampi, must be a question for you. Zampi said, "Hey Dad, how's your day going so far?"
That's definitely you.
That's no way. You got the beard, the flat cap.
No,
sound all responsible.
What are you talking about? No, Dad.
You are so much more responsible.
You're
than I am.
so much more of a father figure than I am. I'm a terrible influence.
He's doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. The dads are doing wonderful, apparently. You know, I'm going to butcher your name, so I'm just going to say, gentlemen in chat asked, when is DayZ projected to be fully done? Outstanding. Our current projected date, it should be up on, again, in the frequently asked questions section at DayZ.com, and should be on our store page, I believe, if you expand the early access information. We're currently aiming for summer this year, but it's looking at how some things are coming along, and the time we want to put into squashing bugs and polishing content, doing balancing phases, that might see it get pushed to September, but it's this year. Absolutely, we're leaving early access this year. A gentleman, Little Giant, asked if could you scroll up just a little bit? Little Giant, there we go. Will the new UI be forced upon us, or will the option for the old UI? No, it just doesn't work that way. We cannot support old systems in tandem with new systems, and we'd have a bloated beast of a game with massive tech debt if we did that. Things are going to change and evolve in development. This is just the nature of it. I'm going to force it on you. Hands down, it's going to be forced. Garrett was asking about the render, specifically what looked dramatically better. Shit, I can't scroll up. Garrett asked something about the render. I can't scroll up. I think he asked if the DayZ is going to look dramatically different or better visually, or if we're going to see an incremental change. I'm going to assume that's what you were asking, Garrett. No, I don't think you're going to see a sudden dramatic change. It's not like you're going to go in playing, I don't know, Doom 2, and then there's an update, and all of a sudden it looks like Duke 3D. No. But the aim right now is for parity, and by parity that means that it will look the same as the existing DayZ, but perform better, and there are areas that we want to make improvements in. There's tons of areas between better dynamic range when it comes to shadow depth and complexity, to more advanced lighting, new particle effects. There are plenty of areas that we will be able to iterate upon, and it's very important to understand, I cannot stress this enough, that like many things continuing throughout development, like our vehicle simulation, the render is going to be iterated upon. The first push of the render, that's not the final render. There's going to be a lot of things missing, a lot of things not there yet that we want to add. It's going to be iterated upon, updated on as we develop. Mike was asking if the editor for DayZ will be similar to the upcoming Eden editor for Arma 3. I can't really speak to that right now. That we're doing an audit on the tool set that we want to push out initially, and I can say that when modding does get in the hands of the modding community, that the tool sets you're provided, some of it's going to be newer, updated tools that have been made for DayZ, and some of it we're going to have to temporarily use coming from other titles in the company like Arma until our tool set's finished. So it's the tool set's going to evolve as we continue development on DayZ. But initially, I think it's going to be kind of Wild West there as we put things out. There's some stuff that we absolutely have to put out there, like for example, the zone generator for the economy, the nav mesh generator, so on and so forth, that actually have to be done. And there's some areas where we can use legacy tools until we get ours up.
I just saw something fly by from Clammy talking about why isn't there more first-person servers. Honestly, guys, it's all on you.
Yeah.
It's all on the community. Like, if you want more first-person servers, then the community's got to get behind first-person more.
You got to play it. You got to play it. That's the problem. Like I've even gone so far at times to make 3/4 of all official servers first-person.
And then everyone raged.
Yeah, people got angry. No one played them. So I'm going to continue trying pushing first-person, but. It's a two-way street, my friend. Two-way street. Gabe asked, how will you share access to your base with your friends? And that specifically hasn't been decided upon. I don't think we're going to put any specific game-ish like mechanics in that are too obviously a game-based system. I think a lot of this is going to have to deal with trust and knowledge between players, but there might be some stuff we can do to make it, I guess, a little more inclusive to make communities want to form around it a little bit more.
Recognize the bond, Brian.
I do. It's the
This is the end of Chronicles 58.
yeah, it is. I'm trying to remember what gun we found. It was a brand new gun we just found for you.
UMP.
UMP, yeah.
It's with silencer and ACOG.
Yep.
It's dirty. Dirty gun.
Will we need new servers for Namalsk? Well, of course. You'll need to run a mod server of Namalsk. Mods are community-made stuff. It's not going to be like in the vanilla DayZ, so you have to run a different server, yes. Gentleman earlier asked how DayZ is going to be advertised when it hits 1.0. You know, a lot of that depends on what the marketing team wants to do, but for my money, I know that we do plan on doing what's called the takeover on Steam. We worked with Valve on that, you know, so that when we hit 1.0 and we leave early access, the storefront of when you go to the store for Steam is going to have, like, you know, big old DayZ background and, you know, push people to the fact that it's out there. But in addition to that, in addition to like what we call a Steam takeover, I do not know what the marketing team's plans are. I hope it's pretty cool. I hope there's lots of swag. I hope we get cool things that I can keep on my desk. Gentlemen, all right, so Famous, the last half of your question about will infected have loot on their corpses was answered earlier in the stream. I'm going to answer Cybot's question that you guys both share about new zombie models. I don't think the new zombie models are coming with the next update. They are coming. I don't think they're on board for the next update. We could surprise you, who knows, but I wouldn't expect it. No, sir. The gentleman in chat was asking if the environment that you're in has an impact on sound, footsteps, gunshots, and so on and so forth. Not so much right now. I would definitely like to see
A little
it
bit.
get there. A little bit.
Yeah, a little
nowhere
bit.
near what it needs to be.
No. But you can hear things like wood floors as opposed to gravel.
I'd like to see the actual, you know, impact of firing a weapon in a closed-off like stone barn or such have the proper impact. And I'd like to see, you know, some proper reverb effects on weapons and such as we start to move and take in some of the new proposed audio technology. So exactly how far we can take that remains to be seen, but I'm hoping we'll see that in the coming months. Lesman was asking, are there going to be more kinds of vehicles? Yes, there are additional types of vehicles in the pipe, in addition to the bicycle that we've talked to people about, and the Little Bird, and the fixed-wing aircraft. You know, we've got boats we want to put out there. We've got additional wheeled vehicles, some military vehicles I like to see in there. Not too militarized, like you know, an unarmored Humvee would make sense. Maybe a UAZ. Hopefully, if we can get Peter and the art team to sign off on that. But yeah, there's plenty of additional vehicles coming. Keep in mind, we're not going to be able for 1.0 DayZ to have the same catalog of vehicles that were available to DayZ Mod when it came off of Arma 2. Arma 2 and Arma 2 Operation Arrowhead benefited from having an extensive amount of content because it was not just it pulled from projects that were not just Arma. There were other titles that Bohemia were working on that ended up not going you know, to market that were within the same technology, so the models were able to be used. So Arma 2, this is why you noticed when Arma 3 came in. Did it crash?
Don't know.
Or did it minimize?
I actually think I just got shot.
Oh, it just minimized.
Dude, actually, I think I just got shot at.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just got shot at. I thought that was death because it was like a.
Did you spasm?
No, yeah, maybe I spasmed. Maybe it was a mouse
I do that all the
spasm.
time. I do the someone shoots at me and I don't expect it. And you can see my character go. I'm like, oh god, and run away.
That was strange. Oh.
Getting shot at?
Oh. Yep.
All right, we got a couple minutes, so I'm gonna finish that thought on vehicles. Just to keep in mind that the library of vehicles that we have access to for DayZ is not going to be as extensive. Just like when Arma 3 hit, and you know, you might have gone from Arma 2 to Arma 3 and went, man, there's nowhere near as many vehicles in Arma 3. Arma 2 and Arma 2 Operation Arrowhead benefited from having an extensive amount of content to pull from when it hit market. But we'll be able to continue to make stuff past 1.0.
That's what I'm doing right now. He's got an AKM.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, AKM versus Mosin, guys. I got a PU on this thing, but the scope's damaged, so it's kind of a way up. Like, if the
Are you
dude's
better
like,
with the damaged or better with iron sights?
well, the thing is, if the dude's like 200 meters away, I want the PU because even broken, you still get the zoom. And with him being as far away as that, you get to take your time with your shot a bit more. But if he's close up, it's going to be straight up an iron sight shot. Honestly, he was just spraying over my head right there, and all it was crack, 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 crack.
Jesus.
So I think we're going to lose this, though, right here. We're going to lose the PU. And he's in these trees somewhere. Pretty positive.
This is going to be close. Fish of Legend wants to know if we're going to expect a gag ball, or a ball gag, I should say, in .60. Unfortunately, no, my friend. We don't currently have any plans for that, but I'm sure that you can find that in your local adult shop. No, gentleman in chat, Dixie-normous696 asks if there will ever be radiation zones. No, Dixie, there were no atomic or nuclear weapon detonations within Chernar, so there's not going to be any radiation zones.
This guy right here, where is he?
Is he still popping off shots?
No, he stopped. Alright, I'm just going to run into the tents.
Okay, alright.
That's where we're going to end it.
Clammy asked, while B's heading to the tents, if there's going to be any way we could submit our faces in order to play as ourselves in DayZ. Unfortunately, no. I don't see that happening anytime soon. I'm sorry, Clammy. Phantom King wants to know if there's an ETA on an offline mode. No, I don't have a firm ETA. It is coming. It's being worked on. I believe the programmers responsible for the local binarization of all that content that normally would be written to the Hive. I believe they've actually gotten that functioning right now, so it's just a matter of... Good Lord. It's just a matter of that being plugged into the new main menu UI when that's out there. So shortly, I'm expecting it.
So I'm about to go run into the tent, so I'm just going to catch my breath really fast so I can shoot straight. And then we're good to go. Brother?
Bruno asked if AMD CPUs will run better in the new render. That remains to be seen, and I hope to get that data from the community when it hits their hands. Magic Afro is asking if characters will have better skills the longer they stay alive. Magic Afro, I think the information you're looking for was in my last talk at RTX, Rooster Teeth Expo. We talk about soft skills and what our intent is with that. So, in short, yes, but it's a much longer answer. If you can search for my presentation at RTX 2015, I believe I cover that in a PowerPoint presentation about what we want to do with soft skills. Right now, I don't think we have any plans for a Linux port, but we're not opposed to a Linux port. Here he goes.
Oh.
Shots?
Yep.
Oh boy. You know, if you die, you can just blame it on me. Oh, there he is! There he is!
Oh my!
Oh shit!
You saw him sit in the corner.
I saw the muzzle flash. Fuck. Oh, good run, good run, good run from the coast to the airfield.
It happened so fast.
All right, guys, that is it for time for us. Thanks for tuning in, coming out, and yeah, I guess I'll see. This is the last day for PAX, so I guess I'll see you guys in the next status report or in Black0ut stream the next time he plays DayZ.
Yep.